Welcome to the latest installment of the You're Still Here podcast. It's been a little while. It's 3 o'clock on a Thursday, and I still have semi-morning voice. That's never a good sign when you have morning voice at relatively, late in the afternoon. It's 3 o'clock, and I still have that gurgle. Have you ever been embarrassed? Have you ever been embarrassed that you've woken up so late and that you still have morning voice going into the afternoon and somebody calls you and you fake like it's not morning voice? So, your phone rings, you answer, and she's like, oh, yeah, hey, what's up? But you clearly have the morning voice. The other person clearly knows you're trying to bulldoze your way through it. And I'm in a weird state where even though I've been up for a long time, I have morning voice, a pretty severe. I forgot to airplane mode my. Oh no! Give me 1 second. Let's see if I can fix this. Airplane mode. There you go. Am I good? Are we back on here? Oh, this does not look good on Instagram. All right, we're good. Okay, we're good. Yeah, so I was just saying how I have morning voice at 3 o'clock, and I'm trying to gurgle my way through it right now. We're getting to a weird point of life where because you're so consumed by your phones and whatnot, and you work at home and you do everything at home, a full 2 days can go by. I have one friend, not a very social guy. He said there have been periods where I actually don't speak of one word for 2 days because I live by myself and I work from home, or I had a couple of days off. I'm watching TV. I'm futzing around on the phone, and voices are going obsolete out there. That's why the aliens never speak in these movies, and they make those gurgling sounds like in signs, like because this is what happens. Eventually, it starts with TikTok, and you end like a gurgling alien fighting off Mel Gibson and dying in the movie Signs. But yesterday, I was just saying, are we good over here? Are we good on the Instagram? Am I paying for internet that rivals AOL in 1997, or are we good? You tell me if we're good. Are we? I guess I'll wait a second. Everybody on YouTube, how about I focus my attentions there? And for those of you on Instagram, you can go over to YouTube. Just go to my channel there, and you can see. If you ever wonder what I'm looking at YouTube here, and then you guys over there. So hopefully you guys are good over there. Anyway, I was opening up my show yesterday. I do the daily. All right, YouTube is clear. That's good to know. So I opened up the show that I do on Odds Shopper, where I give these picks yesterday, talking about the most disgusting thing known to man, which is that little weird watery substance that resides on top of ketchup. I don't know why. I forget about it 100% of the time. You make whatever it is. You make a bacon, egg, and cheese, and you want to put ketchup. And there's this weird contingent of people out there who thinks that it's weird putting ketchup on a bacon, egg, and cheese. I know this is a regional thing. Most people from the tri-state area will be like, what are you talking about? Some people think that it's blasphemous in any way, shape, or form to include ketchup on anything egg-related. And I just have to say, and this is not coming from New York is the best. But if you're not putting ketchup on a bacon, egg, and cheese, you really have a problem. But the only thing I got to say is if you aren't putting ketchup on a bacon, egg, and cheese, at least you're not going to deal with that substance that I fall for every time, that liquid, clear substance that resides at the top of the ketchup bottle. And I know you know what I'm talking about. You made a sandwich, you turn up that ketchup upside down, you squeeze it. Red doesn't come out. It's just a clear, disgusting liquid that rivals a substance you might see in pornography. And quite honestly, you have all these podcasts out there where girls saying, oh, yeah, and he put me upside down and put his tongue there and it ended there. I'm sure they would prefer other substances, other clearish substances to whatever the hell that is in the top of that ketchup bottle. And the ketchup makers, the ketchup, who is it? Hunt and Heinz, the big two. That's just like Colgate. And my live video ended on Instagram. Let me try to get this back. This is baloney. What is going on here? All right, YouTube, press pause. I'm just trying to fix this. Oh, I see why. Dun, 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 dun. Come on. Give me 1 second. Of course, by the way, it's my mom that ruined that all with a call. If you're on a live and you're using your phone, of course, I get no calls, by the way. I get one call every 2 weeks. And of course, the minute I start this, that's me. Give me 1 second. I will get right back to this. All right. Now we're good. And now everybody's going to give up and say, all right, I'm not coming on that. He already messed up the first one. You get one chance. Okay. So yeah, the ketchup. I know you're saying it's muscle memory for you to give the ketchup a good shake, but I want to tell you these ketchup makers, Heinz and Hunt, the big two, just like Colgate and Crest, they got semi-monopolies on it's only a matter of time before Heinz is buying Hunt and Crest is buying Colgate, and then there's only one. They got monopolies on the ketchup and toothpaste game. But the Heinz ketchup, they designed the upside down bottle. When you were kids, or at least when I was a kid, every single bottle of ketchup, you saw those people. They were turning down the glass upside down, banging that thing. And then the one person goes, you got to use the knife. And they did the knife slide trick, but now you just have a full knife with ketchup on it, like you're Mikey Myers on Halloween. So then they go, okay, you know what we got to do? We got to turn it upside down. So all those upside down ketchup bottles. And what do you think that meeting was like? In the Heinz corporate offices, you have a whole bunch of people in suits sitting in there, and they're going over. We got a lot of people complaining that there's a lot of ketchup at the bottom of the jar. What are we going to do here? And they're all looking around. What are we going to do? We went from ketchup, or we went from glass to plastic, and then one guy in the corner, why don't we turn it upside down? And everyone's like, oh, well, every good idea that's come up in history has come with it. Oh, well, because everyone's livid. They didn't come up with it. So, the first time the guy who brought the ketchup, I don't know what I'm talking about, by the way. The first person who said, I think the ketchup should be upside down. He got laughed out of the room. And then eventually they implemented it. And now that ketchup's upside down in your fridge. I wonder if that applies to anything else. You think anything else right now needs to be upside down? Like I remember that Daniel Tosh stand-up joke where he said, we're sitting on toilets wrong. And then he sat on it backwards and was like, you have a nice little table here. However, despite the fact that we have ketchup bottles upside down now, that clear liquid at the top of ketchup somehow lives underneath it somehow keeps all the ketchup out like a force field, and then you go and it's just clear, disgusting, sandwich ruining liquid. And I can't tell you how many times I'm talking about this ridiculous thing on this podcast right now, and I'm still going to do it next time. I have a weird part of my brain. I remember random insults levied at me from 1999, but I can't remember every single sandwich every morning is getting ruined. I don't know what led me to talk about this, but if you've ever ate with me, around me, not the best eater to be around. I have kinks is not the right word, but aside from being a quote unquote picky eater, those are apparently not good to be. I have a weird quirk where if I'm served a meal, I eat all of one thing, I eat all of the next thing, and then I drink my full drink. I'm not these people who dibble and dabble. Oh, let me take a bite of my burger, and then I'm going to go over to the fries and one little sip. No. I'm just housing the burger, then it's all the fries, and then I'm just what's for dessert? That's kind of that's my rotation when it comes to these things. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take seconds here and there. I never want to break the flow of these things, but I'm going to take seconds here and there. If you guys have comments, it ruins the flow if I start doing the scroll and read. Let's see what he said. Let's see what he said. But I do know over here on Instagram, if you want, they have like an ask a question type of thing, and that will keep those at the bottom that I can look at. So I don't know what questions you want to be asking me, and I know what you're going to say. You want some random NHL bets or something like that. Can I have 5 minutes? Can I have 5 minutes to talk about things like how I'm about to, and if anyone's watching affiliated with this wedding, I'm not insulting you, but I'm about to go to a wedding, Super Bowl weekend. Let's go to a wedding. And so see, here are the hockey picks coming in. Super Bowl weekend, I'm about to go out to a wedding. Then you got to do that mad panic back to where you want to go to watch the Super Bowl. But do you think anyone is having the audacity to have the wedding on a Sunday? Now, granted, for me, this is a wedding where, in theory, nobody involved with this wedding should be watching this. Not a single person other than the person I'm going with. So, to you, sorry I'm about to say these things. However, um, Super Bowl weekend probably got a decent discount. On Sundays, or on this Sunday rather, or this Saturday and Sunday, there's rain in the forecast. And I just want to remind everybody out there, anytime somebody tells you that it's good luck if it rains during your wedding, just remember that's an absolute full lie. If you just run the numbers by it, you got the sunny weddings, oh, that's good luck. Now the rainy weddings, oh, that's good luck. So where's the bad luck? Because we know the percentages of these that don't work out. I'm sorry if it's raining, not saying it's doomed, not a good sign. Not a good sign if there's huge thunderstorms during rain. If this was the year 19, you think they would say that? If you were about to get married and the huge clouds and thunderstorms came out, you'd probably die. They'd probably say, oh, that's God saying these people got to get, they're done. They should not be married. I don't know if they die, but around back then, year 19, any sort of little thing that they can't take a chance. That's death. That's death. The clouds come out. Like if you're like, hey, I'm gonna go for a jog today. I mean, I know you didn't have to do that as you were sprinting to kill your prey, but a year 19 version of a jog. If the clouds came out, they're like, oh, that's bad. But that guy's awful luck. We got to kill him. We just got to kill this guy. That's what year 19 actually was. But what was it? Oh yeah, the eating. I eat my. Remember that Christopher Walken thing? I eat my peas one at a time. But I eat my portions one at a time. Burger, fries, drink, and if you're saying that I'm wacky, you know what? You know what you do as you're eating? You're like a guy who paints one brush on this picture, then you go to that wall and paint a little something there. You're walking. That's not the most efficient way. But then again, I also have had a notorious problem where I was on dates in yesteryear and I'm just completely finished. And this is the worst thing you can ever do with a girl, by the way, is finish before she's done. And then she just thinks that you are analyzing her meal being eaten. So, I used to have to devise a tactic thanks to my miserable friends who were happy to insult me at a moment's notice. They always said, uh, if you're watching, you know what you said. My buddy encouraged me because I'm a fast eater, because I just go one, that I need meals that have to be assorted. If I go out on dates, what are we talking about? Like fajitas, where I got to assemble tacos and actually take some time so that I'm not just completely finished before my date is done. We really are going around the blocks here. Hey, all right, we're going to take a second and address you guys. What do I think about the Kraken and Devils over 6.5? I don't like it, considering the Kraken just got shut out by the Islanders and now they're going to play the Devils. I don't know. I don't like betting a team after a shutout to hit an over. And this is the kind of advice we give, ladies and gentlemen. And if you, such as yourself, I'm just going to pronounce your name, David. If you want insight like that and you want to ask me questions, you know where you can go? Yes, that's right, my Patreon. But it ain't free. But as they say, the best things in life aren't free. They don't say that, but that's what you're going to hear around here. And if you guys were watching some of my Instagram channel there, I posted some of those people at the gym. I don't want to beat on this topic too much because I feel a little corny sometimes commenting on the thing that everybody else is commenting on. But to be honest, if you go back and track I've been making fun of influencers for decades. And by decades, I mean since pre-2020. So you can say decades, the 2010s and the 2020s. But, it was almost too cliche. And then also remember when I got my temporary thrown off Instagram where nobody explained why. I was always a little, I always had to kind of beat around the bushes when it came to that. But, we had that type of phenomenon going on, and I use that term loosely, where these girls are at the gym and they're secretly recording some schmuck trying to sneak a look. And two things can be true at once. Those influencers are, yes, indeed, verified pieces of trash. However, let's not act like some of those guys ain't sneaking looks. Look, I'm not that disgusting. I'm sneaking looks. Yeah, I'm sneaking them. I mean, if you guys could see the people at the gym, especially in Florida here, it's a whole different world. And by the way, figures. I go to Florida. I'm like, you know what? I want to try out Florida. Come down to Florida. Think I'm escaping the winter. Check the weather in New York. All 50s every day. Middle of February, 50s every day. Super Bowl, outdoor parties. That's what happens. Anybody, if you want the weather where you live just to get ruined, have me come there. And if you would like the weather to kind of be in a better, more even balance, like if you're in a hot place and you want it cooler, have me leave, and vice versa elsewhere. It's 75 degrees in New York in February. It's the whole reason I left. Never be cursed with my brain, ladies and gentlemen. Just never do that, because as you can see, I have no. Oh, yes, those girls at the gym. Um, I realize that if you're encroaching onto talking about the gym these days, there's a gym underworld. There's a gym Instagram, a gym talk, fitness TikTok. There's all these underground worlds out there, and me trying to come in there, despite the fact that I've been influencer heckling, let's say, for years. You go in there, it's like you're encroaching on foreign territory. You ever hear those stories about people trying to go to Hawaii to catch a wave, and then they get like excommunicated and beaten down by the locals? Yeah, it's not all shakas when you're stealing a wave over there. Well, if you encroach onto gym talk as a non-fitness, and you can't have my casual gym where I go in there and do my classic 3 exercises, the big 3 that I've been doing since I was 16. Now that's not gym talk worthy. You got to be in the trenches. And when I was over there and commenting, that I was, even though I was doing the right thing by heckling, I was not welcomed with open arms to the gym talk community. And I felt like Superman when he entered the ship. Remember when he couldn't breathe, despite like these were his people, and he was just like, you haven't breathed the air long enough. You've become familiar with the humans. That's what I felt like. I was not welcomed by the gym talk community. And then there's that guy, and because I poked my head into the gym talk community, like kind of in Stranger Things, some of those people who went through the portal, I kind of learned about this guy. What a great name. Joey Swoll, who is the Chris Hansen of the fitness community, where if you're out of line, he's going to keep you in order. And he is the, I guess, king guy who calls out these influencers when they're doing ridiculous things and calling out guys or any sort of activity that is, as they say, cringe. There's people, this guy calls them out on all their activities, and supposedly every single person he's called out has had to put their comments on private or turn their comments off. And ain't that exactly what most of, I don't want to be that guy who goes Gen Z, whatever you want to call the generation who loves to get the clout via recording someone. But then when the sunlight is put on them, they shrivel up. Mark my words, ladies and gents, if there is a day where I got to look down the pipe, Lord knows many words have come out of my mouth that the only reason I'm fine is because nobody's watching. Like, yeah, there's a couple people here, a couple people there, but for the most part, the masses aren't watching. But if the masses went through some of it, do you remember when I compared people having opinions to gay people in the 90s? How you didn't feel like you can be yourself. If I was popular, do you know what that would be right on Times Square, my face and that quote. But you can mark my words, no matter what happens, I'm going to look down the pipe. Comments aren't being disabled. And I'm going to say, I said it. Let's go. But all the influencer cowards, they all turn the comments off. And that's it. You turn the comments off. That's waving the white flag. You're out. You should be banned from the community. But it is what it is. Good for you, Joey Swoll. So yeah, I embarked into the fitness world. Now I really have to embark in the fitness world. Um, that does make me happy. I do. All right. You know what? If you're here from the Odd Shopper channel, and if you're not, that's the site that I give out NHL picks and give NHL insight. Let me tell you something. Um, just like you saw in that Instagram chat right there are many people who have told me that I have turned them on to hockey. Now, I'm not naive enough to believe that it's their love of the game. The money has got them in the door, but many of them seem to be watching. And I just want to say this: you have all this talk about diversity in hockey and how to grow the game and the Ivan Provorov jersey and hockey being inclusive. You guys got to see the messages I'm getting. Let's just say I'm growing the game in certain communities that Gary Bettman's trying to get into and is having no success. You guys got to see my DMs. You got to see my DM. If you looked at the ethnicity of my DMs of people watching ice hockey, you'd say, Andy, you're doing the Lord's work out there. And Gary Bettman, on the negative 0.3 chance, 3% chance you're watching. You want to know how to get in there with other communities? You don't have to be waving flags doing this. Put a little money in their pockets. Give them a couple good sniffs. And you're going to be surprised how many people are showing up to come to the Colorado Avalanche Nashville Predators game. Although those are two actually really good fan bases. But you know what I'm talking. You want to fill those Arizona seats? Well, actually, there's not a lot of seats that you know what I'm talking about. Pick a fan base that needs to fill the stands. But I'm doing the Lord's work out there for hockey diversity, and it just takes putting money in people's pockets. But that has been it's been great. You know, for those who are watching from there, I've been doing like this kind of stuff for years, and it was other than my first initial bump where Instagram didn't put the shackles on me, and then enough people probably complained where I got put in the you have to have like all the filters off to see these videos. I'm so shocked how doing videos for hockey has helped kind of grow everything, and it's been great. So at first I did it just because I love hockey, and I'm like, all right, you want me to create content? That's kind of what I've been doing anyway. And now it's weirdly snowballing into something else. So we're going to see what happens. We're going to see what happens with that. I wouldn't expect me on MSG anytime soon, but I would decline a job from MSG. Oh, that's right. You hear me, MSG? I would decline a job from you because go look at your people doing your sports betting videos. Oh, yeah, they're right on your YouTube channel. And this is me, by the way. If you don't know how I work, I'm a direct insulter because I come from a line of direct insulters. MSG, every single sports betting person you have on your page, maybe they could be nice people, but they ain't giving good sniffs because they can't crack my views on daily videos. Oh, I've seen your videos. I mean, I can't make it to the end because they're not watch worthy, but they don't have a portion because you don't have true sniffers over there. You never had a sniffer. How does that end, people? You never had your car. This is funny though, because this is like a convergence of worlds. And the only thing that I would love to happen. I know some of you people who are involved with, I've had some people say, Andy, anytime you come out to Vegas, what am I am I really going to take your word on that? Am I really going to message a guy on YouTube? Hey, guy on YouTube, you said if I'm coming to Vegas, you'd be able to hook me up. What does that entail? You got to remember, man, I grew up in New York. I got asked for fake IDs in the streets when I was 12 years old. I said yes. The guy scammed me out of my only $20. Hard to trust strangers when you're living that way. However, oh no, where was I going with that? Gone. Whatever the thought is gone. But thank those of you. I'd like to thank those of you who have continuously come by, check those videos every day. I do want to go back to influencers. They kicked me out of the gym world. I'm not allowed to talk about those gym people because I'm not a part of the gym world. Although I need to get my ass back there. You know, that's slow. Let's just say I need to dedicate more time to that. But I've noticed something because I'm now at the age where you've seen people like, you see these people dancing around on TikTok. You see people dancing here, dancing there. You see influencers blowing you duck faces. I had my era of those where there was girls, early 20s into their late 20s. But now I'm at an age where I've got to see them age out of it. And then I just out of curiosity last week, I tried to find some of those old profiles that I remember. Like, oh yeah, what is that girl doing? Remember that girl we used to work with, and she used to have all like those ass shots from pool parties. Do you think they're still there? And then we went to look. The internet is bleached of this girl. I couldn't find it anyway. It's like it was gone. And then I looked at somebody else who was very similar. I think she like was it high school or graduate? I want to be semi vague. Let's just say somebody I grew up with somewhat closely. Same type of thing. Super hot, ass shots, tons of followers. Oh, you're so pretty. Well, can you market my fit tee? But now they've hit that weird. Can't find her anywhere. They're all gone. They're all gone, and they somehow paid one of those services to even wipe them off of like white pages. I'm telling you, there's an unsolved mysteries case going on. You're never going to see this one listed in their DVD selection. You're never going to see this on next season of Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix. There is a curious case of disappearing influencers from the ether. I don't. Did they just get random jobs and then pretend like it wasn't them? Or they wearing a fake mustache? Where did they go? And you know what I'm talking about. If you're in your early 20s, just wait a couple years. It's the people to your left and the people to your right. They're going to start disappearing, kind of like the Showtime show. Oh, I've referenced it before. The this is killing me. The where people just start mysteriously disappearing. All right, I'm looking at the screen. You have it? Do you have it? Of course you don't. Where when people start mysteriously disappearing, the influencers, as they say that age that I won't say out loud, but you know what I'm saying, ends in a zero, starts in a three. They just fall off the face of the internet, and those ass shots. So really, what I want you to do, if there are influencers who tickle your fancy or bother you, either or, get your screenshots in now, because I'm telling you, it's all gonna be gone. Normally, I'm not a big screenshot guy because I think it's like living in a rat world where everyone's just acting like rats, where we're just screenshotting everything, and it's the '90s equivalent of being like a Joe Pesci-ized family that we're all rats. But you got to be taking some screenshots to prove at a later date because people aren't going to believe you. People aren't going to believe you. Like, oh no, there was this. What are you talking about? There's not. I searched that name all over the place. I want to know how they do it. All right. I've tried many methods to clear names off the internet, and it ain't easy. So they got some trick. Obviously, Occam's razor would suggest they just kind of got married to some guy who paid for everything, and the guy's like, "Hey, I don't want to have that stuff anymore, and we're married now. Can you get rid of it?" That's probably what ended up happening. But this is what we're just exploring the ideas. I have a yogurt suggestion. Did you think you were going to get that here? I've had the standard yogurt progression as I've gotten older, and I'm obviously on Icelandic now. But they have this skyr yogurt that's fantastic, and then they came out with creamy, which was even better, and now extra creamy is even better than that. Where does it end? Is really what I'm asking. I was fine with the single X porn of Icelandic yogurt, but they have to keep one upping it. So I was thinking, you know, everyone everyone knows what triple X porn is, right? Even if I'm not saying go watch it. I don't know who the hell's watching this. You know what single X or triple X porn is, right? And you know what single X porn is, right? Like the stuff they can show on HBO. What is double X porn? What is double X porn? What channel's that on? And what does that entail? What are they allowed? What are the specific? And don't even type. See, I still am of the belief that there is an eye in the sky at Instagram that goes, Andy's going live again. Let's see what we can kick him off for. So I wouldn't even suggest typing what that would actually be. But I was wondering, what does double X porn entail? Now, if you have any more questions, okay, we got 3 questions. All right. The Eagles are in the big game. Give me my thoughts on Philly. Philadelphia, the city. I will say this. I come from Long Island, and I think the 2 scummiest fan bases in all of sports are Philadelphia folk and Long Islanders. And I'm not excluding myself. And I'm not even speaking down about this. I believe that as fans, you have a duty to implement a true home field, home ice, home anything advantage. And if that means bringing a cardboard cutout of somebody's ex-girlfriend and having it over the field goal post, then do it. Anything. I'm not one of those people. I am a win at every legal cost kind of guy. And if you got to act like carnies, if people's girlfriends, which you saw in the Eagles game, look, I'm not gonna endorse what that guy said. I would never say something like that. But if you're saying things that is keeping fans or family members and friends out of that arena, they're scared to go. You're doing something right. You're doing something right. You saw the Joey Bosa video. The Eagles fans got him, and Long Island fans are not much. There is no difference between the 100 sections, the 300 sections. You're hearing the same level of profanity straight throughout. Now the Islanders have a new arena, so I don't know how much that technically applies. But the old barn, Philadelphia and Long Island, the scummiest fan bases. And I will quote somebody from Philadelphia who I used to work with. This is a good friend of mine still, and he said, "Well, I'm like a New York 2, a Philly 6." Just somebody giving themselves a 2 in any capacity is just the level of self-deprecation that anybody can appreciate. But I guess he was hinting that I guess the amount of lookers over there in Philadelphia isn't what one might hope. But I don't have enough experience there. I will tell you this with my minimal Philadelphia experience, and I'm not speaking down. That's such an awful thing to say before you speak down. But I remember just driving right through the heart of it. And you drive through the heart of any city. You go, okay, we're going to go through the awful parts. Then we're going to hit the good parts. And then you're through it. Well, I'm like, all right, here are the awful parts. All right, here's some more awful parts. Okay, a couple more awful parts. Oh, we're out of it? There's just no good parts? I drove through the heart of Philadelphia. They could use a little cleanup over there. Cleanup on aisle 6 over in Philadelphia. So that's my thoughts on it. I am a fan of their Carney fan base because I belong to my own Carney fan base. Other than that, what do I think happens with the Buccaneers QB situation this offseason? You guys want to hear something funny about that? One of the Buccaneers quarterbacks, his tax returns are currently upstairs in my house because they were sent to me. And I tried reaching out to them on social media and nobody's answering me. I have yes, I currently upstairs. And I swear to you, if you think I'm lying when we're all dead and we're up there in the room and you get to see who was lying about things, ask him. Say, did he really have those tax? I have a quarterback for the Bucs tax returns upstairs. And nobody's answering. I DM them on Twitter, I DM the player, DM'd everybody. No one's answering. And it's not on me I'm not driving over to Raymond Jack. I got to do these lives. I got to go to a wedding. And if you're not going to answer, it's on you. I tried putting it in my mailbox. The post office just isn't taking it. We're in a weird world now where nobody wants to do anything. No, just really everybody's job is, oh, come on, man, just make someone else do this. So I currently have a quarterback's tax returns upstairs. And, you're going to say it's illegal. I don't want them. But I don't want to throw them out. I feel like that will be worse. So you guys all tag the Buccaneers in this post or something because, I don't know, somebody has to come. I'm not opening them. I don't want them. I don't want to be depressed and know how much less money I have than this quarterback. All right? What do I think happens? I don't know. But wherever Derek Carr goes, they're going to lose. How about that? Because he is a born loser. So how's my day? Honestly, you might not get this from me. Very good day. If I'm sitting here with you, joking about things, it's a good day. The only thing that isn't good is I haven't had enough time to do more of these lately, but I'm happy I was able to do that today. So I disregarded the YouTube comments for a little bit. So what do we got over here? I just wish FanDuel offered some of your parlay. Well, you know what? You got to tag them. You got to tag them because I wish that they allowed you to combine points, and they did for a little on Caesars, but you should be able to combine points, totals, money lines, all that stuff. And I tried tagging Caesars. Everybody ignores me. Everybody ignores me on all the platforms, including the quarterbacks. Well, you better, I don't know how you're going to pay your taxes without the returns over here. What else we got? Anything else? Any more questions? Yes, my day was going pretty well. Are we riding the Islanders wave again? I mean, I kind of have to. If you're a casual watcher and you're like, what that guy Andy who made some funny videos and what are these random sports? At the end of the night tonight, check your little ESPN app, check your scores app. My favorite pick tonight is, as my good friend who's watching says, the New York Islanders to beat the Vancouver Canucks. Why is that? How about this for the non-hockey people out there? If you're a casual, you're a random guy in England, how about the Australians? A couple of random Australians who said they run my YouTube videos on a TV and they all start laughing. Well, go check your NHL scores tonight. I'm going to be taking the New York Islanders because they have conceded less than 2 goals. 2 goals or fewer in 5 straight games. They're coming off of a shutout. They're on a 4-game win streak. They're playing a team who played last night. They're playing lackluster goaltending, and they need those points to stay alive in the playoff race. You combine all those like a witch's cauldron, and that usually spits out a win. And now watch this, because I've done a live here and a live here. They're going to get shut out 6-0. I'm going to be the disgrace of the internet, and then I'm going to get jailed for having tax returns in my house that I don't belong, even though I tried to return them to the post office. Yep. That's me. The hell else did I want to talk about? Oh yeah, the double X porn. Here's an adult topic, somewhat. I haven't seen a condom commercial in like 6 years. Did they just give up on that? Did we just give up and say, listen, they're not wearing them? They just stop wasting your market. Like they're looking at the returns on like Jesus, the ultra thins lost money on, the standards lost money on. The bearskin lost money. All right, then screw it then. We're not tossing any more money into this. I think people just I think condoms have been universally rejected, ladies and gentlemen, and I guess you guys just followed up on a trend I started a long time ago. I'm just kidding. I can't tell you. I would tell you guys a story about when I was younger, and I had my yearly checkup with the doctor, and I told them a theory I had. And they basically said to me, like, yeah, but isn't it good that we do that? I basically got them to admit they were lying about something, but I don't want to say it. I just don't want to say it. I don't want to say it. Something that I briefly mentioned when I said that I was going to do my next podcast and then had to wait longer than I actually wanted to was Family Feud. Do you know when I moved to LA and I was, you look for any jobs to get money, really, because you also have to try to free yourself up for the magic audition that's going to come. Like you can't just take a job at Dave and Buster's and then if you get an audition at 3:00, what are you going to do? So you have to have these weird, odd jobs that kind of circulate around when you have to free yourself up for auditions. So these odd jobs come along, ones that only exist in Los Angeles. And one time I got hired to be a clapper on the Family Feud. I was sitting in the audience and I got paid to go, all right. And it's true. And you're sitting there and you're like, my God, it's just one of the many things you're disappointed. I always did wonder. I'm like, who the hell is this audience who cares about the results of 2 random families that they have no in on any of the money for? Why are people that excited about random questions that 2 families are fighting over the answers for? It made no sense until I got paid to do it. You pay someone, they're going to clap. And what's great is the little speeches that they give. This is with sitcoms. This is with game shows. They have somebody directing the audience, and they give them little song. They give you a little speech beforehand. Well, ladies and gentlemen, okay, thank you for being here, an audience of the Family Feud. We want you to encourage you to be lively and have a bunch of enthusiasm when it comes to the answers. But we ask of you to not try to have a distinct laugh in there. Don't have a distinct laugh like for when you do sitcoms and they have all those laughs, obviously. And you ever watch a sitcom and you just hear that one guy ha, ha, at the end? Well, they don't want that. They don't want that. They just want it to be muddled, generic laughter. And it was the same type of thing with the Family Feud. They didn't want anyone to like shout out, like, oh, it's a. Have you ever seen them reveal the answers on Family Feud? The answers that nobody else got? Like, all right, let's see the ones that no one else got. Ding! Everyone turns into absolute zombies without a brain. They just, ding! Casino. Who reads words like this? Nobody. I was in the audience that day. I went, casino. As everyone's going, I finished the word 10 seconds ago, and they're still just spitting out whatever the answer is. It's just full zombies out there. But yeah, I was paid to be a clapper on the Family Feud. And if you've known me long enough, you know it's always been my not dream, but I've always wanted to appear on things like The Price is Right and Family Feud because I always thought, like, on you know how everyone always goes $1, $1, Drew. I mean, you get to go all the way down to one. Pick a random number. That'd be so much funnier. If you thought everyone over it, oh, how much for that jet ski? $19. I think it's 19. It serves the same thing as $1. And all these people since the beginning of time couldn't think of that. They got to do the one. So I wanted to go on Family Feud, definitely. But as I mentioned on my story like a week or two ago, they say out of 100 members of the audience polled, what's your favorite dinner to eat on a Friday night? That's a ridiculous question. I want to see the audience. Don't just say there's no such thing as 100 people anymore. You think the 100 people watching these streams right now is the same thing as 100 people, on the in the local McDonald's or something like that? Different crowds. So show me who I'm looking at. What are they wearing? What age are they? You can't just say the generic 100 people. Because I got different ideas of what's fun on a Friday night. Just go to Yelp. Just go to Yelp and see what people think are good. You ever tell you guys about that? The Yelp conundrum, where you're relying on people you would never rely on. Like if you take your own personal life, who would you call and be like, yo, I got to go somewhere really fun on a Friday? You're going to call this guy for advice. He's going to tell you. Now ask yourself, would that guy ever write something on Yelp? And there's just a fully 0% chance he would ever do so. All the reliable people would never let you know on Yelp. You're relying on the unreliable. That's why when you look at a bar, it's got 5 stars. You show up, you can't see a thing. It's dark. There's people reading Harry Potter in the corner. And then you go to a place that's fun. People are dancing. And what happened? It's got 1 star because some crusty asshole didn't get in, and then they disparaged the place by giving it a 1-star review. They called their other miserable friend. They wrote a 1-star review. And not to mention the people who will go to a restaurant where everything tastes great. They're like, oh, it's the best food I've ever had in my life. But the person who checked us in, I didn't like how they were constantly texting someone. So you have some 17-year-old who's taking a summer job, and now you're giving this place 1 star. I don't give a shit. I don't care about these people. Just give me the food stars. I'll deal with miserable people. Okay. I'll be amongst my own. All right. I think that's it. How long has this thing been? Because once you start getting to 45 minutes, I don't feel like going back and editing that and putting it out there. So I try to keep it under 45. But I think we hit that, right? Right. All right. Any last second questions here? Did somebody request? Oh my God. Did somebody request? Should I do it? Should I request? Should I accept? I'm accepting video from a random freak. Here we go. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Well, see, that's life, ladies and gentlemen. You go up, you actually take someone on face to face, and what do? They decline. All right. Any more questions? Give a name to the season we're in right now. Am I missing something right now? Ah, ladies and gents, you just saw what it's like to draw a complete blank. You know what that reminded me? I'll tell you what, this is 100% true. Do you know when I've done stand-up comedy, 100% of the shows that I've done, not like it's a ton, but I've done, a decent amount. The last thing I think when they call my name, like, "Hey, let's give it up for Andy," even though my name's been botched before, the last thought is always, I have no clue what I'm gonna say. I forgot everything. My last thought is always, I forgot everything. And then I go up there and it all magically comes back to me. It is a wild phenomenon and it happens every time. I go, "Oh, I don't remember a single thing." And then once I'm there and I grab the microphone, it just randomly all comes back to me. But then again, Robert De Niro once said something. He said, "You got to remember your lines so well you can forget them." And trust me, ladies and gents, I forget my lines every single time. So you'd be proud, Bobby. All right, everyone, take it easy. I got to go to a wedding, Super Bowl weekend. Let's see how it goes. Got to give a lot of fake smile. Always remember this, by the way. I was ahead of Curb Your Enthusiasm, and it's all time stamped. You got to be, even if you don't know the people at the wedding, I'm not going to know a single person at this wedding. You have to have fake happiness during the dances. Like if there's dances out there, the people who get married, yes, at the time of it, they'll never know anything, but they retroactively go back and they check faces at the wedding. They check the videos because you know how it's hashtag, Cindy got jacked when Cindy marries Jack. And then they go back, they check that hashtag and they review all the videos. And then they're checking faces like, oh my God, you see Dan, he's just not smiling. Dan's looking at his phone. Dan's putting a DraftKings lineup in. One time I did that. I left the wedding, said I had to go to the bathroom. I just made a DraftKings lineup. Yeah, I did. And I can understand if any of the people who can figure out what wedding that is never want to talk to me again. But as I've said, if you're married, I don't mind huge quarrels with married couples because there's only so much they can be a part of your life. You're married, you got kids, you have a lot of stuff on your plate. Are you really going to carry out the petty hatred with Andy? How many times am I going to have to even see you over the course of a year? Once max at another wedding? So never mind quarreling with married couples as a single person because you always have more time to screw them than they have to screw you. I'm just kidding. You should not be like this. You should have good relationships with everyone. Take it easy, everybody. I will check in with you hopefully next week. I will try. You have my word. And for those of you with those bets out there, you know what I like to say at the end of those. Good luck to you. Better luck to me. Make sure you're subscribed here to my channel on YouTube, along to Instagram. You know how this goes. I know regular people, especially like my friends, wanted like, what the hell is he talking about? 10,000 followers on Instagram. Sniff Drip is being released. The graphics are currently being worked on, and if I'm working on a graphic, it's going to be funny, along with the assistance I'm getting. But I still don't know if I'm allowed to say the guy's name, but he's such a great guy. And we're going back and forth, fiddling with graphics. And it will be ready, especially by NHL playoffs. Take it easy, everyone. I will talk to you soon.